Good morning, great morning, wonderful morning, spectacular morning, outstanding morning, magnificent morning, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious morning. Again, the beautiful reminder of choice that we all have. And what is that choice about? About thought. That's all it's about. Matter of fact, that's the only thing you have control over, and that's your thoughts. And why that's important is because your thoughts are things. Your thoughts are energy. Your thoughts are the magnets that attract to you the very things that you think. And the sooner you connect with that and start working that way within, that's the sooner the results in your life will change. See, this is where application comes into play. This is where you using what we're talking about comes into play because knowing about it, it's not going to do jack shit for you. It's not going to help you at all to know that you have to do it. What's going to help you is you actually doing it. Now, remember when I'm saying doing it, we're not talking about the behavior on the outside. We're talking about the movement on the inside. That leads to how you feel, it leads to how you behave, and that leads to your results. Now, again, notice where it all starts. It all starts in the mind in your kingdom of heaven, which is the kingdom of thought. So, yes, use what we're talking about as if your life depends on it. You know why? Because it does. Now, what have we been studying? We've been studying this beautiful gem here, The Secret of the Ages by Robert Collier. If you don't have a copy of this, make sure you do get a copy of it. And when you get your copy, yes, read it. Yes, study it. Yes, underline it. Yes, highlight it. Yes, even memorize it. But more importantly, apply the information, use it in your life, practice what we're talking about here, and use it practically for everything in your life. Because again, that's what's going to deliver the change. That's what I did for myself. That's what Dolly did for herself. That's what we together have done for ourselves, which has led us to be able to help people to deliver some pretty awesome results in their life, even in our lives. All right, so let's go into this, shall we? Let's go into where we left off from the last session. Are you ready? Type in the comments, I'm ready if you're ready. Let's dive into this. Here we go. All right, so where we left off was on page 44, and there was an important thing that he said here. And keep in mind that this is piggybacking off the beautiful statement that the secret of all power, all success, all riches is in first thinking powerful thoughts, successful thoughts, thoughts of wealth, of supply. We must build it in our own mind first. So let's type that in the comments. I must build it in my own mind first. Now, here he points out before you start to build a house, you draw up a plan of the house, of it. You make an exact blueprint of that plan, and your house takes shape in accordance with the blueprint. Your imagination is literally the blueprint of your life. You get to make it whatever you want it to be. And from whatever that is, provided you are loyal to it, it'll start to take shape in your outer world. Well, every material object takes form the same way. Mind draws the plan, thought forms the blueprint, well drawn or badly ones, as your thoughts are clear or vague. It all goes back to the one cause, the creative principle of the universe is mind, and thought is the eternal energy. Now, sit in that for a moment. It all goes back to one cause, the primal cause, which is how you're thinking. Remember, thoughts are things, thoughts are energy, thoughts are the magnets that attract to us the very things that we think. You want to know how you've been thinking? You want to know what that consists of which are your beliefs and habits? All you have to do is look at your results because your results are the effect of how you've been thinking. And if you don't like those effects, or say like you do like those effects and want them to make them better, well, the way you change it is by dealing with the cause. So now again, the creative principle of the universe is mind, and thought is the eternal energy. But just as the effect you get from electricity depends upon the mechanism to which the power is attached, so the effects you get from mind depend on the way you use it, thus, how you're using it. Now, sit in that for a moment because you've been told you become what you think about most of the time. And here he's specifically pointing out that the effects of your mind depend on the way you use it, on how you're thinking. Depends on what the patterns are inside of you and the beliefs that you have. Now, we are all dynamos. Say that to yourself. I'm a dynamo. Yes, you are. The power is there, unlimited power, but we've got to connect it. We've got to connect it up to something, set it some task, give it work to do, else we are no better off than the animals. Now, you are better than the animals in terms of what you're capable of doing. So many people talk about, for instance, oh, dolphins are so intelligent. They are so intelligent. Yes, they are massively intelligent. Okay, when's the last time you saw a dolphin build a house or drive a car or make a car, go into a plane or fly a plane? Yes, they have intelligence, but are they really intelligent? And there are people who actually say they're more intelligent than us. Oh, really? That's foolishness. See, what you have that's different than them is the mind that you have, which embedded within it is this ability to create. You've been given dominion over this earth. The dolphins haven't, the whales haven't, the spiders haven't. They live in this dominion, but they cannot create the way that you can. The seven wonders of the world was built by men with few of the opportunities or faculties that are available to you. Now let that one sit. Think about the pyramids. They didn't have what we have available today, yet they built it, whoever they are. Nobody really knows. They have a theory about who made them. Because it's in Egypt, they say it's the Egyptians. Well, what if there was another civilization before the Egyptians that were there? With that being said, they made those things, and there's lots of these amazing wonders of the world that were created before us here today with the technology that we have, but still, they built it. They conceived these dynamic projects first in their minds, picture them so vividly that their subconscious minds came to their aid and enabled them to overcome obstacles the most of us would regard as insurmountable. You know, I love to think about all these magnificent buildings that were built long ago, of which personally I don't believe they were built when they were said, but when they said they were built. These magnificent buildings with these amazing pillars, all made of enormous stone. How did it get there? Someone made it. Now, here he says, imagine building the pyramids of Giza, the enormous stone upon enormous stone, with nothing but bare hands. Imagine the labor, the sweat, the heartbreaking toil of erecting the Colossus of Rhodes. Between those legs, a ship could pass. Yet men built these wonders in a day when tools were of the crudest and machinery was undreamed of by using the unlimited power of mind. How did they do it? It's not a matter of whether or not it's been made, it's there. What was the technology that they used? We don't know what it is. You know how many engineers today and scientists today, when they look at the Pyramid of Giza and they look at the Colossus of Rhodes, they have no freaking clue how they did it. Now, with that, mind is creative, but it must have a model on which to work. Your mind is creative, but it must have a model on which to work. It must have thoughts to supply the power. In the third lesson of emergence, that lesson's titled Dream Big. It talks about the importance of dreaming big. It also talks the importance of being really clear about what you would love. Why? Because clarity gives you power. There's also something else that's referenced within what we share, and that is something that comes from Neville Goddard, and that's the importance of having really great ideas to think from, to be clear about what those ideas are. And why that's important is because we think from our ideas. If you don't have a really amazing image, which is an idea that you're locked into, I got news for you. You're not going to get ideas that are in harmony with whatever it is that that image represents. Why? Because like attracts like. There are in universal mind ideas for millions of wonders far greater than the seven wonders of the world. And those ideas are just as available to you as they were to the artisans of old, as they were to Michelangelo when he built St. Peter's in Rome, as they were to the architect who conceived the Woolworth building, or the engineer who planned the Hellgate Bridge. Now, here's where the beautiful gem comes into play. Every condition, every experience of life is a result of our mental attitude. We can do only what we think we can do. We can be only what we think we can be. We can have only what we think we can have. What we do, what we are, what we have all depend on what we think. Now, I'm certain that if Robert Collier and I were to have a conversation today, he would shift that to how we think. And as a matter of fact, he even said it before in one of the previous paragraphs. But here we know what he means. Then he goes further. We can never express anything that we do not first have in mind. The secret of all power, all success, all riches is in first thinking powerful thoughts, successful thoughts, thoughts of wealth, of supply. We must build it in our own mind first. You must build it in your own mind first. Remember, it all starts inside. As within, so without. Not as without, so within. Nuh-uh. As within, so without. The within is ceaselessly becoming the without. Your imagination is the starting point of all creation. Imagination's where it starts. Neville talks about this as the attitude you have towards yourself, which is a picture. Everything depends on your attitude towards yourself. That which you will not affirm as true of yourself can never be realized by you. It can never become a material fact. So you've got to build that ideal in your own mind first. See, that's what you've got to work with. You got to work with your mind. Now sit in that for a moment. Say that to yourself. I must build it in my own mind first.